video, we're going to talk about the differences in the look and feel of documents when you look at them locally compared to opening them in Office 365. Document fidelity refers to the formatting of your documents, such as layout and font, and whether that formatting is consistent when viewing that document on a different computer, which is what happens when sharing your document with other people or working collaboratively on the same file. To illustrate how the same document can look different when viewed locally versus viewed in the browser, let's open a local version of our marketing presentation. Now we'll open the same document using Office 365. You can see that some of the fonts have not carried across, and the document isn't formatted as it should be. For example, this font should be Helvetica, and this should be V-Hand. The reason for this is that custom fonts only exist on the PC that you installed them on. So if you're editing a file in the browser, it won't look the same as the desktop version because the custom fonts aren't available in the cloud. But this doesn't mean that you should abandon editing documents in the browser. Doing it this way promotes collaborative working because multiple people can work on the same file at the same time, which is a really cool feature. However, once you've finished making your edits online and the document is complete, you should download the document locally and check the formatting is what you wanted it to be. To do this, open File Explorer and locate the file you've been working on. It should have the white cloud icon next to it if you're using Files on Demand. If it doesn't have a cloud icon, take a look at our file management video to learn how to enable Files on Demand. Double-click the file. It will download and open in the desktop app. All the fonts and formatting will now be displayed, and you can correct the misalignment issues. You will also see that the cloud icon has now changed to a white circle with a green tick, which means that the file is synchronized locally. A common example of when you need to make sure you have consistent document fidelity is when you're working on a presentation. You can do all your editing through the online version, which is great if there's more than one of you working on it. But make sure you open the presentation from a desktop app to check formatting and fonts are correct. You'll probably have to make some changes to the alignment or font sizes. Once you're happy with it, always save an extra copy to your desktop so that you have a local version of the presentation, just in case. But don't forget to delete it after you've given the presentation so that you don't unnecessarily clutter your desktop. And if you want to be super prepared for your presentation, then it's a good idea to save a backup of the custom fonts to a folder in SharePoint. Then if something awful was to happen to your laptop ahead of the presentation, you can access SharePoint from another PC and install the fonts to that device. Then you can run your presentation on that new device and won't have any issues with something called font translation, or in simple terms, when the computer automatically decides which fonts to use as a substitute for the missing custom fonts. Remember, we've shown how the document fidelity can be affected when viewing the document from your own computer versus looking at it directly from the cloud in your browser. But the same problems can occur when sharing documents between Apple Mac and Windows PCs, as they don't always have the same basic fonts installed. If you're like us and use custom fonts a lot, then we save our documents in the Adobe PDF format before sharing them with our customer. Then we'll know that they'll always look awesome. It's also really important to make sure you know which screen resolution you should be creating your presentation in. Your document will look vastly different if you've designed it on the traditional 4:3 aspect ratio and the venue uses a widescreen projector or plasma screen, which are 16:9 aspect ratio. You don't want all your nice circles looking egg-shaped. The best thing to do is contact the venue ahead of time and clarify which resolution you need to work to and build your presentation based on that. Once you've done that, you can choose the correct slide dimensions before you start creating your presentation. We hope you found this useful. For more training videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel.